Imagine stepping into a time machine set to the golden age of rock and roll. 1975 was not a normal year for most people. It was a sonic revolution. Today we're cracking open the vault and dusting off 12 legendary songs that didn't just hit the airwaves, they shook them. Songs so influential, they reshaped rock forever. Sure, we could have easily thrown Queen's "You're My Best Friend" into the mix, but why take the obvious route? If you truly lived and breathed 70s rock, you're gonna love this list, especially song number 3. It's that song you swear you once kissed someone to in a crowded bar, but honestly, who can remember clearly? Get ready for electrifying riffs, wild stories, and musical moments that'll have you wondering, how did I not know that? 12. Led Zeppelin, Houses of the Holy. First up, Zeppelin proves again they never play by the rules. Ironically, this track didn't even make it onto their album of the same name. Go figure. It's vintage Zeppelin, riffs that groove, plants soaring vocals, and a rhythm section tighter than your favorite jeans in 1975. Robert Plant once joked during live performances that the song's title confused fans looking for it on the Houses of the Holy album. Jimmy Page's layered guitar work created a vibrant, playful and John Bonham's thunderous drums gave the track its unmistakable heartbeat. Concerts, Houses of the Holy was a fan favorite, always guaranteed to ignite the crowd and remind everyone exactly why Zeppelin ruled rock and roll. 11. Elton John, Got a Meal Ticket. Elton John was always known for glitter, glam, and extravagant stage antics, but with Got a Meal Ticket, he cranked up the dial and reminded everyone he could rock just as hard as he could sparkle. The track bursts out of the gates with relentless piano riffs, fiery vocals, and a pace so energetic you'd think Elton was sprinting through the song. In concerts, he'd pound the keys so aggressively, you'd swear he had a personal vendetta against his piano. Behind him, the classic lineup, Davy Johnstone on guitar, Dee Murray on bass, and Nigel Olsson on drums, matched Elton's intensity note for note, turning arenas into wild, roaring rock parties. This song wasn't just Elton in concert mode, it was Elton unleashed. 10. Bob Dylan, Hurricane. Bob Dylan isn't just a songwriter, he's storytelling royalty.
Alfred Bello had a partner and he had a rap.
With Hurricane, Dylan turned music into activism, weaving together powerful lyrics to spotlight the controversial imprisonment of boxer Reuben Hurricane Carter.
Pistol shots ring out in a barroom night.
Dylan's voice, sharp and urgent, cut through like a protest banner at a rally, forcing listeners to confront issues of injustice head-on.
Love, here comes the story of the hurricane, the man the authorities came to blame.
Recorded alongside violinist Scarlett Rivera, whose haunting strings perfectly echoed Dylan's passion, the track immediately sparked nationwide debate. Dylan performed Hurricane during his legendary Rolling Thunder Revue tour, turning concerts into electrifying forums for change.
Throws up his hands. I was only robbing the register. I hope you understand. I saw him leave and he says and he stops.
Ever heard a song that literally changed lives? Hurricane might just be it. And if you think this storytelling is epic, wait until you hear what Rush did next on this list. But first, something about 9. Roxy Music. Love is the Drug. Brian Ferry and Roxy Music took glam and made it irresistible.
But love is the drug I'm thinking of. Oh!
Love is the Drug is seductive, slick, and unforgettable. This track didn't just make playlists, it influenced entire genres, from new wave to dance.
Love is the drug, got a hook on me. Oh, get that buzz, love.
Remember the first time you danced to this song? Maybe at some late night party or a neon lit club? Love is the Drug had that infectious groove, the kind that made even wallflowers hit the dance floor.
She said yes, dim the lights, you can guess the rest. Oh, get that buzz, love is the drug.
Its pulsing bass line and Brian Ferry's smooth yet edgy vocals created a sonic allure that still captures listeners today.
Toe to toe, heart to heart as we hit the floor. Lumber rock.
If this tune ever got stuck in your head, you're not alone. Well, so far, if we are missing a song, start writing in the comments. We would take this into account. 8. Rush, Fly By Night. I still remember walking out of the record store with the Fly By Night single tucked under my arm. It had that kind of cover art that made you stop and stare, otherworldly, like the music inside. Canadian trio Rush stormed the scene with this track, showing they weren't just another rock band, they were something else. It's fast, intricate, and bold, setting the stage for progressive rock to take flight. Geddy Lee's high wire vocals and Alex Lifeson's sharp guitar work were already impressive. But Neil Peart's drumming? That was next level. It wasn't just rhythm, it was precision, storytelling, and pure adrenaline all rolled into one. The kind of song you didn't just hear, you experienced. 7. Pink Floyd, Have a Cigar. Picture this, a muddy festival field in the summer of '75, thousands of fans waving lighters, or was it matches, and the opening chords of Have a Cigar kicking in through a haze of smoke and sound. Pink Floyd didn't just play concerts, they transported you. Have a Cigar is peak Floyd sarcasm, aimed straight at the music industry suits.
It's a hell of a charge, it could be made into a monster. We all pull together as a team.
Roy Harper stepped in to sing lead vocals, giving it a sneering edge that even Roger Waters admitted worked better than his own take. With funky guitar licks and that unmistakable synth groove, the song became a live favorite and a subtle middle finger to the very machine that marketed it. Did you ever catch Floyd live back then? If so, we're officially jealous. Pink Floyd, the masters of experimentation, bring funky rhythms and cosmic vibes, a psychedelic groove that proves Floyd didn't just float, they rocked. Have a Cigar is quintessential Floyd, clever, satirical, and sonically irresistible. 6.
The Who, Squeezebox.
Now here's one that probably raised a few eyebrows and cracked a few smiles. Squeezebox. Cheeky, catchy, and completely unexpected.
Well, the kids don't eat and the dog can't sleep.
Leave it to The Who to sneak a risque metaphor into a country-flavored rocker and make it a hit.
Mama's got a squeeze box, daddy never sleeps at night.
Pete Townshend wrote it as a joke, but the joke was on everyone else because the song stuck. It climbed the charts, cracked the US top 20, and became a staple of The Who's live shows, even though Townshend himself was never quite sure why fans loved it so much. But let's be honest, a rock song with an accordion reference that gets people dancing, that's the magic of The Who. So here's a question for you. Which band had a hit that starts with one of the meanest cowbell smacks in rock history and ends up with a chorus you can't help but shout? Hint, you will find it a few spots away from here. Tell us when you found it.
Come on and tease me like you do. I'm so in love with you.
5.
Chicago with Old Days.
Brassy, bold, and nostalgically brilliant, Chicago's Old Days was a feel-good anthem about simpler times. Released as part of the album Chicago 8, the song was penned by trombonist James Pankow and served as a reflection on childhood and innocence. Peter Cetera's vocals brought warmth and energy to the track, while the band's iconic horn section added its signature punch. It reached number 5 on the Billboard Hot 100 and quickly became a radio favorite. Though lighthearted in tone, it sparked a bit of controversy for referencing old cartoon characters, which some stations hesitated to play. Still, its message hit home for millions. Nostalgia never goes out of style. 4. ACDC, TNT. Some songs feel like a punch to the gut in the best way possible. TNT was ACDC's announcement to the world, loud, gritty, and completely unapologetic. Bon Scott's snarling vocals were full of swagger, and Angus Young's riffs were like raw electricity. This was more than just a song. It was a warning. AC/DC wasn't here to play nice. They were here to blow the roof off. Released in late 1975 in Australia, it later appeared internationally on their breakthrough album, High Voltage. The song instantly became a fan favorite at live shows, especially when Angus duck-walked across the stage in his schoolboy outfit, tearing through the song. It's chaotic, rebellious, and just plain fun. And that chorus, TNT, I'm Dynamite, was a rallying cry for rockers everywhere. Well, if this song is at number 4, imagine your top 3. Let's go. 3. ZZ Top, Tush. ZZ Top brought southern charm and blues swagger to mainstream rock. Tush was short, sharp, and impossible to ignore. Clocking in at just under 3 minutes, it was a gritty burst of Texas rock that packed more attitude than songs twice its length. Billy Gibbons laid down a riff so thick and punchy, you could almost smell the motor oil, while Frank Beard and Dusty Hill drove the rhythm with tight, no-nonsense grooves. Released on the album Fandango, the song became ZZ Top's first major hit, showing the world that a little grit and a lot of groove goes a long way. Yes, Billy's beard is iconic, but it's the band's ability to blend blues, and hard rock so effortlessly that really made them legends. Two, Nazareth, Hair of the Dog, a rebellious anthem with one of the catchiest choruses ever recorded. Nazareth's Hair of the Dog is rock with an attitude, capturing the spirit of 1975 perfectly. With that legendary opening line, yeah, you know the one, it was clear Nazareth wasn't playing nice. This track, from the album of the same name, brought the Scottish hard rockers their biggest international recognition. The snarling vocals from Dan McCafferty, those fuzzed-out guitar tones, and the pounding rhythm section made this one of the hardest-hitting songs of the year. And just when you think it can't get any better, boom, cowbell. You remember we asked which band brought the cowbell heat? This is it. So be honest. Did you blast this one loud enough to rattle the windows? Or were you the neighbor asking them to turn it down? Get ready, guys, for our number one in the list. Are you ready? Thumbs up or subscribe, you may choose, or both if you want. One Kiss, Rock and Roll All Night. If you had to bottle the spirit of 70s rock and pour it all over a wild night out, this would be it. Rock and Roll All Night isn't just a song, it's a mission statement. Kiss took glam, grit, and guitar-fueled chaos and wrapped it in a chorus designed for arenas to scream back. Released on their game-changing live album, Alive. In 1975, it catapulted Kiss into rock superstardom and became their signature anthem. Before this track, Kiss were more known for their outlandish costumes than chart-topping hits. But once this song hit the airwaves, and more importantly, the stage, it was all over. The energy was infectious. Every show ended with this song. Fans covered in confetti, ears ringing, voices shot from screaming every line. It wasn't just the finale of the concert. It was the reason you bought a ticket.
I wanna rock and roll all night and party every day. I wanna rock and roll all night.
From Gene Simmons' fire-breathing bass lines to Paul Stanley's rallying vocals, and of course, those iconic face-painted personas, the band wasn't just about the music. They were an experience. Kiss shows were explosions, both sonically and literally. Pyrotechnics, blood capsules, and platform boots tall enough to make you dizzy. And somehow, in the middle of all that chaos, was this simple, perfect anthem about doing exactly what its title says. The track remains one of the most enduring party anthems in rock history, a guaranteed ignition switch for any crowd from the 70s to now. It made teenagers feel like rebels, parents feel worried, and Kiss feel legendary. So there you have it. 12 tracks from 1975 that didn't just hit the airwaves, they shaped the sound of an entire generation. From Dylan's lyrical protest to ACDC's gritty punch, from Elton's piano thunder to Kiss's arena-shaking anthem, these songs weren't just played, they were lived. Whether you were blasting them through crackling speakers, catching them live in a haze of lights and lighters, or discovering them years later on a dusty vinyl, every track on this list carries a moment, a memory, a mood, but this is just the beginning. Which of these songs still gives you chills? Which one takes you right back to that summer, that concert, that heartbreak, or that wild night you barely remember? Let us know in the comments. Hit subscribe and crank the volume because we've got more rock journeys coming your way. Until then, keep your records spinning, your stories loud, and your rock even louder.